everyone, this is Larry. Welcome back to Today I Feel Like. One of the things that I like to do with my GoPro is shoot time lapses, and the new GoPro Hero 9 Black has a night lapse mode. So what I'm going to do is actually set the night lapse mode settings up, and then I'm going to mount this in my car and go drive around a little bit and see how this thing actually performs doing a night lapse while the car is moving. We're going to see how it goes. Let's check it out. All right, so in order to shoot our night lapse, we're gonna need a few things. First, we're gonna need our camera, which in this instance is the GoPro Hero 9 Black. And you can use a different camera, but this is what I'm using. And we're gonna need a way to mount the camera. So you're gonna want like a suction cup mount, something like this. I'm not gonna use this exact one. I have another one that's in the car already, but I just want to show you this is something as an example that you can use. And depending on how long you're gonna be shooting your time lapse, you may want a power bank to plug into your camera so that you can continue to have power to it so you don't end up having your battery drain and your camera shutting off in the middle of your time lapse. So make sure that either you plug into your car or you plug into a power bank, and make sure you start off with a fresh battery or just go straight external power if you don't even want to worry about putting a battery in. So, all right, now we need to get the settings set up. So let me go ahead, set my camera up for the night lapse, and then we'll go shoot. All right, let's go ahead and get these settings going. So I'm gonna hop into the GoPro app and show you what settings I'm going to use. And so let's go ahead and we'll go to my photos folder there. We'll open up the GoPro app, and we're gonna go ahead and click the little photo icon there so that we can find our camera. We're gonna go ahead where it says control your GoPro. We can see it's already connected, so I'm gonna click that there. It's gonna say starting preview, so we'll wait for this to get going. And there we go, we can see the preview is up. Now what we wanna do is we're gonna go ahead and get rid of this. We'll just click maybe later. And we can see here again that it's showing it's gonna wait to show the preview on there. You can wait for this, we don't really need to. What we wanna do is just scroll over to where we're on video right now. We wanna scroll over to where it goes into time lapse. So we have our time lapse, video, photo, and live section. But what we want to do is we want to scroll over to where it says time lapse, and we'll see right here it already shows a section right there where it says night lapse. We're going to click on that, and you'll see that there is time warp, time lapse, and night lapse. And you can see right here where it says night lapse, it's set to auto already. So we're gonna go ahead and click on the little pin so we can make some adjustments. And the first thing we want to adjust is we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna leave the resolution at 4K. The lens, instead of wide, we're gonna go ahead and change that to linear. And where it says interval auto, we're gonna leave that. Where it says night lapse video, we're gonna go ahead and leave that. You can make it photo or video, but we're gonna leave it on video so we don't have to worry about creating a time lapse video out of all the photos. Where it says shutter auto, we're gonna leave that on there. Where it says duration, no limit, we'll leave that. Scheduled capture, we're gonna leave all that. Timer, 3 seconds, we're gonna leave that as well. Now here where it says bit rate, where it says standard, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna set that to high. We always want our bit rate high so we get as much information in the image as possible. Now where it says ISO minimum and maximum 100 to 800, we're gonna leave that like it is. We'll leave the white balance like it is. Sharpness is on medium, that's good, we'll leave that. We'll leave the color at GoPro, and we'll leave everything else right there. It looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead now and we'll click on done. And one other thing we want to change, we want to go into the little gear section up there, and I'm going to change some of my settings on here. So normally what I do is I have my normally what I have is my front-facing screen on all the time, because normally I'm vlogging and I want to make sure it stays on all the time. So we can see here where it says screensaver front, and it's set to never. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put on there to match, or actually I'm going to turn it off after 1 minute. That should be good enough. And actually I don't even really want it on right now, so I think I may actually just go ahead. I'll put it on never again, then I'm gonna go ahead and actually turn that off in a different place. But what I wanna do is where it says screensaver rear, where it says 2 minutes, I'm gonna change that to never, because I wanna make sure that that stays on all the time. So, all right, so now that we've changed those two things, and I'm gonna have to remember to change them back later, but I'm gonna leave those on there. And now where it says front screen options, it says view actual. I'm gonna go ahead and right here where it says screen off, I'm gonna turn that off. And that is because I only wanna have the rear screen on when I'm doing this because I'm not gonna be vlogging. I don't need to see myself in there. So now we have all of this stuff in there. Everything looks good. And yeah, so it looks like everything is ready to go. So we can see my battery levels at 92%. I'm gonna plug in, so I'm not gonna really worry about that. And now I'm gonna hit done, and there we go. So now I'm ready to go. I have my time-lapse settings set up the way I want them. We're gonna go ahead and mount the camera in the car now, go for a little drive, and see how this thing does at night. Okay, so I'm in the car here, and I have my GoPro set up now. Let's go ahead and take a look at how it's mounted. So I just have it right there in the window, if you can see it there. I have the little Joby suction cup mount there, and it's mounted up and ready to go. So yeah, all right, let's go ahead now. Quit talking, start driving. All right, everyone, so there you have it. That is a quick look at a night lapse video with the GoPro. Now, I will make a recommendation, and that is if you are shooting a video going through your windshield, clean your windshield. As you can see, I did not clean my windshield before I started filming this, and it's really evident. You can see just my windshield is a mess. It really needs to be cleaned. So anytime you're shooting through your windshield or any sort of glass, make sure that it's clean before you get started. So if you're shooting from the outside, if you have your camera mounted on your windshield, on your hood or on your roof or on the side, wherever, it's not so important. But if you're shooting through your windshield, just make sure your windshield's clean. So all right, that was a time lapse or a night lapse video driving into Washington, D.C. I'm gonna head home now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go home and shoot a time warp video on the way back. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up my settings for a time warp video and see how it looks shooting a time warp at night. Okay, so I have my phone here. Let's jump into the GoPro app right quick so that we can see the settings that I'm going to set up for the time warp video. So let's go ahead and hop in. And we can see here I'm already in the GoPro app. So let's just go ahead and click where it says time lapse or night lapse, excuse me. We'll click that, and we're going to change this to time warp. So we're going to click on time warp, and now we're going to go back in and click time warp, and we're going to hit the little pencil there so that we can make some changes. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to leave the resolution at 4K. We can see here where it says lens. We're going to leave this on linear. We have some other options where we can choose wide, linear with horizon leveling, and narrow. Now, I don't need horizon leveling because I have my camera mounted in the windshield, so the camera's not going to move. But if you were doing a time warp video where you were hand holding it or something, then you're going to want to use that horizon leveling so it stays at the same level all the time. So, all right, we'll go ahead and leave the lens like it is. We're going to leave the speed on auto. The ramp speed, we'll leave that the way it is. Duration, everything else looks pretty good here. ISO 100 to 800 minimum and maximum. White balance, auto, sharpness, medium, colors, GoPro. Yeah, everything looks good. All right, so we'll go ahead and click done, and that's all set up. So we're gonna go ahead and start this, drive home, and then see what the time warp looks like. just look right over there, right off to the side, and that is the Washington Monument right there, just over in the corner. Come up, so you know my night lapse thing or my night time warp is pretty much done, but I'm gonna keep going home anyways because I have to get there, so let's keep rolling. All right, so there we have it. Those are a couple of samples of a night lapse and a time warp video. Well, sort of a nighttime warp slash morning time warp since the sun was coming up. But I thought both of them looked actually really pretty cool. You know, one thing I did notice is that the time warp video was longer than the time lapse video, the night lapse video, even though I was filming for about the same time and covered about the same sort of distance. I had also both of them set to auto, but the time warp video was a little bit longer. Now I expected that a few seconds longer would be, you know, normal, because with the time warp video you can push the real speed and then you can start speaking as you were able to see in there. But, you know, that only accounted for maybe, you know, 10, maybe 15 seconds of the video, and it was about another 30 seconds that longer than that. So yeah. Another thing that you should probably know, which I didn't realize, I thought that I could actually have my GoPro plugged in with the battery in charge at the same time while I'm filming. That was not working. When I was filming with my GoPro, when I started recording, it automatically stopped charging. When I stopped recording, it continued to charge up. Now, if you don't want that to happen, what you can do, from my understanding, is actually take the battery out and then just use external power, and that should do the trick for you. So yeah, I'll have to give that one a try next time when I'm doing a really extended time lapse or night lapse or hyper, you know, or time warp or whatever. So yeah. So anyways, what did you think? I thought they looked pretty cool. I thought they were fun. You know, again, I need to clean my windshield. If you're gonna shoot through the windshield of your car, make sure it's clean, because it very well likely is going to show up. The dirt and the water spots will show up on there like it did in my video. But I still think it looked pretty cool regardless. So yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna leave links to the GoPro down below in the video description so that you can check it out. If you have any questions about my settings, I did show it in the video, but if you have any further questions about the settings, feel free to hit me up in the comments section. And yeah, send me links to your time lapses and your time warps and your night lapses and all the other stuff. I'm curious to see what they look like. And yeah, let me know. So anyways, there you have it. Again, I'm gonna leave links to everything down below in the video description. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and please subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Facebook. And I am Larry with Today I Feel Like. Thanks for coming back to see me. Come back and see me soon, and until next time, love, peace, and hair grease. Peace.